Can you guys see my screen? Hello?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
All right. So you remember what we did last time? What all did we see? I assume you have this link. Share it again. So how, if I want to select data from, let's say, products, how do I do that? What query do I write? There's a table products over here. If I want to write a query to fetch data from products, what do I write? Which statement?
Select star from products.
Very nice. Who was that?
It's a Gayatri.
All right. So I have select star from products. Now, if I want to select specific names, what do I do? For specific products, I want only data for specific products. What do I do?
Add a where clause with the condition.
And what do I write? Where?
Write a condition whether your supplier ID should be so and so or greater than so and so, etc. Like that.
Okay. If I want to add more than one,
And
you want to write and what? You want to write it like this?
more than one as in supplier ID more than one or another clause?
No. I want to add one as well as two. Supplier ID 1 and 2.
1,2 I think.
In clause.
Right. In.
Okay. Now, if I want to have specific names, what do I do now? In this only, I want a specific name. What do I do?
And product name equal to whichever name you want.
So I get only one. Okay. Now, let's try one more thing. So obviously we can add an in over here as well. Okay. We can add an in over here as well. Product in this, comma, Jang. Okay. But if I want and product name, I can use the like clause. Okay. I put a percentage, I put C. So let's see what happens. I'm hoping this will work. No result. Yeah. So whatever it starts with C, I have used the like clause over here. Whatever it starts with C, or whatever has the value here, C over here. Anywhere there is a C, it's going to start over there. It's going to pick that up. Understanding? So if I do this, only the one starting with C is going to pick up. If I add a percentage symbol in the beginning over here, alright, that means anywhere in my product name, if there is a C, is going to pick it up. So here you see sauce, okay, and this. Now if I want it this way, if I, let's say, if I say that I want the percentage over here, it should end with E. So only this sauce will come, Louisiana sauce. Understood? The like statement. You can use a like if I want to. Very slow. Hold on, this became a little slow. You guys understood? Can you try this one? This where clause. You need the percentage symbol to indicate what are you looking for. Were you guys able to try this? You understood this?
So what is the difference between putting the percentage symbol twice and putting it only once?
So let's say I put the percentage symbol in the beginning. So it is looking for the product name where it ends with A. Getting it over here, okra, it is ending with the character A. Now if I look at percentage symbol in the end, it is looking for a word which starts with A. Understanding? So it's like in Excel, right? What is this? in Excel, when you filter for text, you see this begins with A. It's going to give you this. So the equivalent for SQL in begins with A is this, where product name, like, I have to give the character A and anything after that. Percentage is indicating anything after that. If I want it to, what is the option? Ends with A. So I get this value. And I can make it this way, and got it? Understood the meaning of the percentage symbol? If I give it
Okay, sir.
percentage anywhere, right? So it's going to search for the A anywhere. Should I repeat?
No, sir, got it.
So can you repeat the difference between the putting the percentage before A and after A?
Here, when I compare this, begins with A. Okay, so I'm getting only one value because the first character is supposed to be A. Okay, so here when I say this, okay, when I say just this, product name like A percentage, so it is going to search in the product name, it is going to search for A, any product name which starts with A, which is why it finds this value. So that A percentage indicates this. When I say percentage A, when I run this, I get only aniseed syrup. If I say percentage A, when I run this, it gives me end, the last character as A. So it is trying to find out a product name which ends with character A. Same in Excel, what I get ends with A. So the equivalent for this filter is this percentage A. Understood?
So then what does double percentage do, like percent A percent?
Double percentage, wherever, anywhere there is a A is going to pick it up. So you see A over here, anywhere there is a A is just picking it up.
Okay, got it, got it.
So the equivalent for this would be contains A. You got this right? Now if I want to find the price, the total price that is there by supplier ID, how do I get that? I have multiple records for each supplier ID. If I want to sum all of them, how do I do that over here? Anybody remembers how did we do that?
So sum price grouped by supplier ID.
All right, sum of price. Okay. My select, what else should be there?
Supplier ID.
ID sum price. By supplier ID. All right. Now in this also there is one more clause which I can add. So normally when I sum this value, right? When I sum this value, I have, let's say if I add a pivot table over here. I've added supplier ID and price. The supplier ID I put over here. So I get it like this. Right? There are two supplier IDs. This data, if I have it in a way, where is it? As in filter. Okay. Ideally, I can filter if I have this value, right? I can even filter that I wanted values above 50. If I want it this way over here, I want where the sum of price is greater than 50. So let's say having let's see what happens like this. When I do this, right, S price becomes a field name. As when I use as S price, it becomes a field name. Having S price greater than 50. So only those records where the sum price is greater than 50 is coming. Understood how having works? So having will work with group by. It needs to it's going to check if the total value that you have is greater than a particular number. You guys get this? Any queries? In this I can even add an order by. So I can write order by S price. Okay, I can write order by S price. So it's going to order it in this way. Then DESC is going to order it descending. If I write ASC, it will order it ascending. By default, it's going to take it ascending. I can write DESC if I want it the other way around. And instead of this S price, I can even write 2, order by 2. Okay, this 2 indicates if I do order by 1, it is going to order it by the first column. If I write order by 2, it's going to order it by the second column. I need not write the name over here. So try this also, the order by. Any doubts, anybody? Everybody understood how this is working? Everybody was able to try it or no?
Yes, sir.
So we've seen this order by, having group by. Now, can you go to this site, SQL Lite? Let me duplicate this. Do SQL Lite online. And last time I had shared an Excel. If you remember, see, there is an Excel file, CSV file that I had shared, IPPSA. You have this? You might see that in the chat. IPPSA. This is another online tool. Only thing. So here I will not be able to import my table. I don't have an option to import any file of mine. Okay, what we are going to try and do is we are going to try and, if you remember our report, just taking a little time. Just hold on. No, taking too long. Remember, we built this report. We're going to try and build this report using SQL. All right. We're going to try and build this report using SQL. So in order to do that, first let's import. So have you all opened this site? Have you all opened that site, and do you have that CSV file? Do you have this? Have you downloaded this CSV file?
Yes, sir.
Right. So let's go to this SQLite website. Click on import and download it myself also. Right on. here you'll see this pop up. Okay, so you can give the name. You can give the name as IPPS. The delimiter is comma. Escape is this. The column name we'll take as the first line. Is the column name, and we'll press OK. You don't need to do anything specific other than this. It should import it. It will not give an error. When you do that, on the left you see IPPS. So instead of the demo, let's say IPPS and run this. So we'll get the output.
Ah,
Sorry. Were you able to load the data? You need to go to sqlite.com, import the file. Once you import it, you should be seeing a table on the left hand side of it. Practically, I can even choose what I want. But this is doing it manually. You don't want to do it this way. Everybody got this? Anybody facing any issues in getting this output? Right. So I'm assuming there are no issues. So let's first select only the column that we want. We want provider name, provider ID, state, discharges, and average cover charges. So let's just take provider name. Notice when you type over here, you can see the field coming up. Provider name, provider ID, state, provider state, and discharges, average charges. Okay, when I run this, I run only this one. So I get my data like this. Did you get this? Were you able to write this query? Anybody facing any issues in getting this?
No, sir.
Alright, so let's also put an order by 1. Now I can see multiple records for hospital 1. For a minute, I'm going to remove this average charges. Right? For a minute, I'm going to remove this average charges. And I'm going to try doing the sum of total discharges by is this the same value you are getting over there? I just did a group by and order by. Do you get this output?
Sir, this total is the sum of what exactly?
Total discharges. So here, then in this report that you are creating, right? We had created the sum of total discharges, if you remember. One minute, let it open. We had written a SUMIF. Right? If you remember, we had written that SUMIF. Remember, we wrote this SUMIF for all these hospitals, for this provider. I want to find out the sum of the total discharges. So if I take hospital A, first one, Allegiance Health, filtered on Allegiance Health. The total discharges comes to 5883. Understood? Remember what we had done? We had written a SUMIF. For each hospital, I want to find the total discharges. So here in my query also the sum of total discharges I am taking. If I just write so here I am getting for each of this hospital, I am getting this value 53, 40. Yeah.
Yes, sir, but we are not writing anything to, say with respect to this particular hospital. We're just writing sum of total discharges. So what is it?
Doing
What
group
exactly
by.
is sum? Is it?
I'm doing a group by, na? The sum, these functions, sum and everything work based on group by. You remember? Here when we tried this, we want to find out the sum of price by supplier ID. When we had done this, it was grouping it by the supplier ID. So the same thing over here, when I write this, it is grouping it by provider name, provider ID, provider state. Got it or no?
No, but in this we have put 3 groups. So what exactly is it taking?
It is taking all three. It is same. Now, if I see, the thing is, if I remove this, ideally it should give me an error. But over here it isn't. But in a normal SQL, it will give you an error because it requires more than whatever names we have provided. Right? It's going to group it by that. Whatever is there before this, it is going to group it by. It should ideally group it by those three values. So here I don't know how it works in this SQLite, but ideally I have seen without this, it should give me an error. It is working that way over here. It is not giving me an error practically.
Okay, got it.
So even if I mean, this would, if you try it in Oracle or something, I don't know if there's a newer version where that is allowed, but ideally it should be grouping it by at least in MS Access and stuff, you will get an error. Alright, so let's try and do the same thing for, let's see what we get for sum of average charges. If I get something. Notice the number is coming completely different than what is expected. You think this number is correct or incorrect? When I do sum of average charges, does that value look correct to you? Copy this. The challenge that we are getting over here, any guesses why we are getting that error? We are not getting the right value. When I fire query, I'm not getting that same value that we are getting in the Excel sheet. Here you should be getting a large value, right? You should be getting 2 point something. You should be getting this number 2921171. We are not getting that number here. We're getting some 2874. Any idea, any guesses why that is happening? Anybody? Any wild guess? Remember importing the data? Do you remember? Or other text to column? Do you remember when we had converted this column into text to columns? What was the one thing that we had come across? What was the one point wherein that 39 was becoming 039 was becoming 39? Do you remember?
Yes, sir.
Yeah or no?
Yes, yes.
What was that? Why was it converting it into automatically? It was converting into a number, right?
Hmm.
And what had we done?
It changes the number format for that.
Yes. So here what is happening in this field, in this data, when I select provider name and average charges, okay, when I select that, it is taking this as text. Ideally what happens is whenever I import data in a database, this is online, which is why I was not able to figure out where is that uh, structure, right? Where is that how do I change the field type for this? Okay, I was not able to figure that out. So this is taking it as text. I need to convert this into a number. So first of all, when I take this as text, it also takes this comma in it. It is also taking the comma as part of this value. So first of all, what I'm going to do is I'm going to replace this comma. So let's see what I'm going to do. I'm going to use a function called as replace. What will I replace? The structure, if I'm not mistaken, is this. Yes. I will write average charges. What do I want to replace? I want to replace the comma with nothing as A1. When I run this, I get this A1 as this number. You see this looks like a number. It's in red color, it is looking like a number. Here you don't see that red color. It is not treating it as a number. Okay. Now if I do sum of this, let's say if I can get that, right? You see the number that we had? Okay. This was the number, right? 292.1171.63. Do you see that number coming here? I just use the replace function to remove the comma so that it takes it as a number. You can also do one more thing. You can use a function called as cast. So it will cast it at float. Okay, I can cast it as float if I just want to be more sure about it. So here, अच्छा क्यों हो गया? अच्छा, I have to do a sum also because it is a group by, sorry. I get the same output, by the way. So let me just simplify this a little bit before I complicate it a lot. I think I complicated it a little for you for the first time. I'm going to remove the sum. This cast can be used to convert it into a float. I can convert this into int also, integer. So this becomes a whole number. So it will not take the decimals. Understood what I did? This is simple. The replace is simpler in a way. What I am doing is in Excel, if you see replace, what is the old text? What is the start number? What number? Text, yes. Is A, B. Oh, इसमें ऐसा नहीं है. Why is it this way? One second. Okay, this is a part of the string. Sorry, I don't want to use this. Let's use substitute. Substitute text, old text, and B. Here it has replaced that A with B. Wherever you see the A, you will see extra becomes B. So in the same way, I have just replaced the comma with nothing. Did you guys get it? When I did this, I don't need to use the cast. I just replaced the comma, it became a number. Because when I'm printing
So,
it,
sir, when we were doing the total for the average charges with the comma, was it like summing the whole characters, the total number of characters?
I don't know what it was doing. It was giving me an incorrect output. So if I just do this, right? Let's say I remove this cast. I do sum of this. Do sum of this. Group by header name. Remove this comma extra. I don't want that. Group by will come first. Order by will come in the end. That is why it gives you a syntax error. So you notice over here it's giving me 2874. I do not know how it is giving me 2874. I do not have an answer for that. So underlying it must be considering some value for the comma or something it must be doing. So if I let's try one thing. What did we get? Regions health, right? Let's try this to understand what it's doing. I take the first two characters, assuming it is before the comma. 2658, very near to what I want. For these two, take 104, 135. Now when I sum this, okay, 874. Understood what it's doing? It is taking the comma as the breaking point of the number, which is why I'm getting 2874 over here. Got it? Do you understand what I did? Hello?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now I will just, in our earlier query, what I'm going to do, I'm just going to take this. I don't need this average charge, by the way, so I'm going to remove that. So I'm getting this number. I'm getting the output in a very easy way as compared to how I did it in Excel. If I have data in my database, I can easily write a query over here. Got it? That was the thought, that was the purpose of explaining SQL, that if you have data in a table, you can write a query to get your data. Got it? By the way, even in Excel, there is an option somewhere to write a query, by the way, but that is a little, yeah, queries and connection. You can connect to a database and there you can write a query. But that's something we leave it for another day. But I hope you got the idea.
Yes, sir.
Okay. I hope everybody has installed Tableau on their laptops, because we're going to start with Tableau from tomorrow.
Not yet.
I would suggest you install it. Since you are students, you should be able to install the Tableau desktop, provided you can upload your, I think they ask for an ID. It's free for the students for a year. So if you are able to install that, install that. Otherwise, install Tableau Public. Tableau Public. You might have an option to install Tableau desktop, like I said, because for students, they give it for free for a year. So I'll just, by the way, can you, till I send you the link, can you just mark your attendance in the chat?
So what is the difference between the public one and desktop one?
In desktop, you will be able to save the files on your desktop, and there are some additional features over there. In public, that whatever you save, right, it's going to save online. It'll save it on the public website. You will understand when we see it actually.
Okay, sir.
This should be the so slow. Should be it. All right, thank you. I'll just message the link in the chat. Thank you so much. Talk to you again tomorrow.
Thank you.